50%
yes.
of second cycle students have ever attempted committing suicide. Wow.
Scary.
Yeah, shocking. I mean, it's a shock. I have goosebumps all over me. Reverend.
Hello.
Yes, Reverend. Mr. Amadou has already started into the prevalence. I would ask you to also elaborate more if you have some more figures to show us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like my brother Peter has espoused over there. You see, according to looking at the epidemiology of suicide and the etiology, according to what the new data from the World Health Organization, which says that almost 1 million people die from suicide, which is a global mortality rate.
Wow.
And it says it is within 16 per 100,000 people. 16 per 100,000 people globally, or 1 death 40 seconds. This death of suicide, this suicide is between the ages of 15 to 44 years. And the second leading death among 10 to 14 years group. So that is the epidemiology globally.
Yeah.
Now, looking at it from this particular point, you see I have shown a screen which indicates where suicide is reported, the areas whereby suicide is not reported. And like Peter did mention, you see, when you look at the world over, if you look at Europe, Asia, and then other countries, come to Africa here, you realize that suicide cases are not reported in Africa at all.
Yeah.
We don't report suicide cases. So it makes the issue on suicide very dicey to be discussed, especially when it comes to Africa. But going forward, you see, I would like to share with us the statistics and then the prevalent rate of suicide in Ghana, the Ghana situation. And in the Ghana situation, if you read the Mental Health Authority report, and this report is 5-year intervals that this report is being given, and we are taking it from the year 2000. And if you read the report, it says that from the suicide rate cases or suicide rate in 2000, the rate was 2.10% among female and 7.50% among males.
Wow.
And the total rate was 4.70. That was in 2010. But let's go to the year 2000. When we go to the year 2000, it says that Ghana's suicide rate for 2005 was 4.30. And it was as a percentage 7.5 increase from the year 2000. So from the year 2000, in 2005, Ghana had 7.5 increase of suicide cases in 2005. That is within 5 years.
Wow.
We have had 7.5% increase. Then moving forward, the next 5 years, that was 2010. In 2010, we had 4.70 per case rate. The rate was 4.70.
Yeah.
What is the percentage increase? The percentage increase was 9.3 increase from 2005. So you know that in 2005 we are 7.4. Now the percentage increase in 2010 is 9.3%. Now moving to fast forward, 2050, 5 years on, the rate was 5.30. Now what is the percentage increase in the 5 years forward? 12.77% increase in 2015.
Wow.
Now fast forward. Now we have even ended 2015, but a year on, because the Mental Health Authority report is just ended in 2016. That is 4 years before now.
Yeah.
And in 2016, the rate was 5.40. That is a year. And the percentage increase is 1.89 increase from 2015, which we are in 2016. The percentage increase a year on is 1.89 increase from 2015. Now, fast forward. Let's not discuss it from this particular window. In 2016, the rate was 5.4 and the percentage increase was 1.89. 2020, what will be our rate? Because population has increased, economic situations in our country has also become mixed up. To the extent that now we have the bank crisis, we have financial crisis, we have unemployment, we have divorce, we have relationship issues, we have the pandemic in our midst now. So it presupposes that if we fast forward the 1.89 from 2016, looking at the situation around us now, these percentages would have increased. And mind you, these percentages that we are recording or we are reporting are percentages that are recorded officially or cases that are reported, not top of the cases that are not reported. So looking at year on, you see that every year there is a percentage increase on our cases. So it is a very dicey situation. And according to the Mental Health Authority in Ghana, every year there is a 1,500 people mortality rate of suicide in Ghana. So every year 1,500 people die of suicide. That is the reported case, not counting the unreported case. So you realize that suicide cases in Ghana is really increasing, and day in, day out, you hear people committing suicide. These people who are committing suicide are usually the age. So like, when you look at the mortality rate, the report says that the mortality rate is that the death of suicide in a year per 100,000 people. So that is this what we are going to be dead, just 100,000 people. But in Ghana, we know we are 30 million. So if we are taking the percentage is per 100,000 people. Now, what the percentage by 30 million? So you can see that the rate or the prevalence of suicide in Ghana is very, very alarming, and something needs to be done about the issue of suicide, because every day, everywhere, anyhow, people are dying of suicide because of the economy, because of the situations we find ourselves or they find themselves in. So they think that the best way to end it all is to take their own lives. So suicide actually, per the figures that we are recording in Ghana, and the reportage we are getting in the epidemiology and the theology of it is actually on the increase. So fast forward 2020, if we should now do simple mathematics, we realize that by now our rate or our percentage rate would have hit about 15% of per 100,000 people. Yes. So it is on a high, but it's on an increase.
Reverend, thank you so much. Once again, you know, you are never aware of the extent of the problem until some of these things are put in front of you. I mean, if between 2015 and 2016 we have almost a 2% increase there, at that point we didn't have any pandemic, and you know, I would think around there even things were a bit okay for us. But then fast forward, the issue with banks, you know, people losing their livelihoods, people losing their monies, and then all of a sudden COVID-19 comes in and all that. I think in your submission, you already started talking about some of these already. So why don't I just allow you to educate us, the public, on some of the causes of these things? Why would a normal human being sit there and just decide to take their own life, to kill themselves?
Okay. The causes of suicide is multifaceted. We look at it from the mental, psychological point of view. we look at it from the environmental point of view, and we look at it from the health or medical point of view. So we talk about biological, we talk about health, we talk about the societal or environmental point of view. Now, when we come to mental and psychological point of view, we are really talking about mental illness or psychological disorders that causes people to really take their life. It comes from what we call depression or hopelessness.
Yeah.
Depression. So from the psychological point of view, we believe that there is a mental issue or a mental illness that underlies the causes of suicide. Now when we come to the environmental, situations around the individual also contribute to suicide as an issue. And we look at it from the biological or the medical. There are certain medical conditions that also put the individual to be thinking of suicide. Now let's take it from the environmental or societal point of view. And in the society, first of all, we talk about financial difficulties. Financial difficulties. So financial difficulties, you will realize that there is a screen. I've just shared a screen here, and you see it says 53-year-old chief has committed suicide at Abuapa in the Ashanti region. The chief is reported to have shot himself in the chest. Residents and family members are speculating he killed himself because he has been unable to offset a 50,000 cedi damage. So we realize that there is a financial difficulty. So financially, when somebody is going through financial difficulties and can no longer control the situation around the person, and out of shame, the person decides to take his life. That is the circumstance around the person. Another one says that a third-year University of Ghana's medical school student has reportedly committed suicide. He is said to have taken his life after failing his courses and therefore bailed for repeat. So failure as an environmental factor also causes an individual to think of suicide or to even take his life, because there is pressure on the individual. The person has failed, and because I have failed, I don't want people to now see me as a failure. Therefore, I decide to take my own life. So failure or environmental failure also contribute to an individual trying to take his life, because look at it from the fact that I am with my colleagues or my peers, and here my colleagues or my peers are moving forward either than I am doing, then I see myself to have been a failure. I can no longer control it, so I decide to take my life.
Yeah.
Another issue is conflictual relationship. People who are living in a conflictual relationship. We are living with somebody, say a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and here you are, and then this boyfriend is not really taking very good care of certain things, or the lady is not taking good care of certain things, or are invested in this lady or this young man, hoping that maybe things will get better one day. But only to be told that by the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the husband or the wife that we can no longer continue in this particular relationship or in this marriage. Therefore, the person feels all hope is lost. Therefore, the person takes his own or her own life. That is one fact. And you can remember, in 2017, a police lady in the Upper East region took her life. Took her life because the boyfriend jilted her. And this is a conflictual relationship. And because the boyfriend jilted her and she felt all hope was lost, now the only way to solve it, to end it all, was to take it away. So living in a conflictual relationship also causes what we call somebody to be thinking of suicide. We also have poor academic work, also as an environmental factor, academic work relating to the University of Ghana student. And also you remember in KM University or University of Science and Technology, where a student was also was reported to have also taken her own life because of poor academic work, and then left a suicide note to the parent that she had disappointed the parent because what they are expecting from her, she couldn't have met that, therefore she needed to end it all. So that is the fundamental factor, especially when we are talking about the situation in our youth. When you go to our schools, we are talking about bullying. Bullying is another factor. Bullying, it could either be cyberbullying or physical bullying. Maybe you are in school, seniors are bullying you, they are teasing you, they are doing all kinds of things towards you. And here is the case, once you are being bullied, the bullying is beyond your control. So you feel like, if I stay, I will still go through this, so I won't end it all. Another factor is a name calling or teasing. Among the youth, teasing. There is a situation where a young lady took her life in a same school because she had gone to breakfast and then she fell asleep. And while she was asleep, she was able to, she couldn't control situations. And she met her. And all she could do was to take her own life because she could not control the situation. So these are some of the issues whereby lead people to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to the mental or the psychological point of view, it says all major psychiatric disorders can increase risk of suicide. There are major psychological or mental disorders. And but 90% of the suicide can be traced to depression. 90% of suicide can be traced to depression. And this is linked to what we call bipolar disorder, depressive disorder, schizophrenia, or personality disorder, particularly borderline personality disorder. Because the person is having a kind of personality, and based on their personality, the person is going through, especially with depression. The person feels I am because I know what to talk to. People cannot I cannot control situation. People don't like me. People hate me. That kind of thinking in the person's mentality or in his psyche. And based on that, the person feels like because this thing is going on in my life, there is anxiety, so the person decides to take his or her own life. So psychiatric disorders or psychological disorders or mental illnesses are also a factor or a contributing factor to people taking their own lives.
Wow.
Now, fast forward. We move fast forward, and we say that social strain, lively social-cultural norms. And you see, when we come to social cultural norms, you have a situation whereby here you have, it says cultural values trying to place more value on man. You see, we have previous suicide attempts. Somebody might have committed suicide before, or might have attempted suicide before, but the person didn't succeed. That person is really at a verge of committing suicide again. Another cause is substance abuse. Substance abuse is also a factor in contributing to suicide. Incarceration. People go to jail. Many times people are sentenced to jail and their mental or psychological disposition is not taken care of. So when they go there, the only thing they think of is what? Is killing themselves. Exposure to suicidal behaviors. Maybe somebody is there, there has been a family relation, a friend who has gone through suicide before. That person who has gone through suicide before is likely, or has witnessed suicide before, is likely to also go through suicide. We have stigmatization and traditional beliefs. Stigmatization and traditional beliefs also contribute to suicide. What are some of the traditional beliefs? There are some traditional beliefs, especially when it comes to the religious beliefs. There is now a theology in our world which says that God, everything is well. And when you go to church today, the pastor or the prophet prophesies so many good things to you in your life. Oh, it is well. You travel outside. Your husband is on the way coming. By the end of the month, a man will be coming into your life. So with all your hopes raised, only for those hopes to dash at the end of the month, at the end of the year, where you have been promised you are going out, you'll be traveling outside, where you are promised good things, and these things are no longer coming, they are being dashed. The person feels it's an embarrassment on my life. Therefore, I will take my life. So it is also a fact that traditional beliefs or religious beliefs also contribute to suicide and stigmatization.
Yeah.
The way we stigmatize people.
Yeah.
Oh, this person is barren. She's not giving birth. Or you are not getting married. Men are coming into your life.
Okay, Reverend, can I come in there for a second?
Hello.
Yes, Reverend. Thank you so much. So you are still watching Schools Are Closed, but it's not a holiday. And today we're talking about suicide. We're talking about suicide prevention. We're commemorating last Thursday, which was observed globally as Suicide Prevention Day. Yes, the reason why I am allowing a lot of this lecture is because ordinarily we will not be talking about this. So we feel that we should learn. This is a learning platform for us. So let's learn, let's see these things, let's understand them. Reverend, I will come back to you, but in the meantime, I just want to quickly ask Mr. Peter in the studios. So I heard that they said suicide, women attempt suicide more often than men. However, men succeed at it more than women. Yeah, when I heard it, I was a bit confused. I'm like, okay, so like what's going on in there? Can you explain this to us? Since you are in there, and I think you would understand more why this is so.
Yes. So thank you very much. That is true. That's what literature is pointing out, indicating that when it comes to suicide, the attempt of suicide, you have more attempts by the female, and you have the completion rate, which is more among males. So let's say if you have, let's say, 10 females who are attempting, 1 or 2 may succeed.
Yeah.
And then when you have, say, 10 or 5 males attempting, all is complete.
Wow.
And that is why this one has a bit of a cultural connotation, societal connotation,
yes,
and also sometimes the means or the method that are employed in the attempt to take off life. When you come to look at the cultural connotation, many of the times certain things are done in society and people are like, but you as a man, how can you fail at this? And that's always the challenge. So for a man, culturally they expect that when you try something, don't fail.
Don't fail.
Yes. But when a woman tries and fails, they say, okay, that's fine. She's a woman. I see, so we grow up to come to understand this. So even the person also contemplating suicide is a member of society. He is a product of the society. So they hear all this. So he also wants to still go in that tangent, knowing that what I am attempting must be completed. I don't want to hear stories.
Wow.
Then you come to look at that social also goes with the cultural connotation, because the society in which we live has a culture which has been handed down several years to us. So it means that the same way the individual, and then when you come to look at even the methodology, it means that men go for more lethal means of committing suicide. So they are ending it right. Women go for means that many of the times it's lethal, but sometimes with quick support around, they are easily revived. So the female group may go in for some medications that for a while, if they go to the hospitals, the doctors are able to push around, do 1 or 2 things, and detoxify the system, and they are revived and come back to life. And some of them too may starve themselves for a while. And once you starve yourself, sugar levels are low, no energy and all that. The moment they provide you these things, you are likely to be revived quickly. But when you come to the counterpart, the male, he is possibly thinking of jumping onto the road where a moving vehicle will end it all.
More drastic, more...
Exactly. Or when he says he's shooting, he's not shooting the thigh. He's looking at vital organs in the body, destroyed. Or this person again may decide to know certain parts of the body where they know very well. If I use this particular object around there, I will bleed to the point that before the next person comes, I'm gone. Dead. And these are some of the ways. And that's the reason why men succeed in completing most of the time than the female who attempt more, because culture, society, and the methodology that are adopted all play a factor in dealing with this.
Okay, once more, Reverend, I will come back, but then Mr. Minti, you started talking about culture and then all these societal norms. I just want to quickly again, from your end, what are some of these cultural triggers, some of these things that, you know, push people to that extreme for them to feel that this life is not worthwhile, that they would want to end it all?
Yes. So yeah, just like Reverend mentioned earlier, if you look at it, going back to the causes, we can talk about the relationship, we can talk about childbearing.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, childbearing in our society and culture, once you are married, the next 3 months somebody is asking you, but what's happening to your wife? We are not seeing her around spitting and all those things.
Will she get pregnant?
Exactly. So you see, people marry for different reasons.
Yeah.
People get engaged for different reasons.
Exactly.
And so if within our society where we so much adore children and all that, so when you begin to ask these questions, some people may know I have a challenge. I have 1 or 2 challenges, which nobody knows. But if we continue to ask these questions, to the embarrassment of this person, they want to one day take this particular step. And then if you look at the culture counterpart as well,
yes.
If you look at substance abuse,
yes,
in our society, who are those who drink? Men. Men drink, and it's legalized.
Who are the ones who drink more?
Okay. They're supposed to say, oh, for a man you can drink. But if one takes just a bottle and they're like, no, please, don't add it. Give a malt. Give it this. But a man, but you should be taking something higher than this. And see, so culturally, so when you become intoxicated, or when you get to the point of where you become tipsy, your thoughts, your judgment, all impaired. And so imagine you are drunk and riding.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You may meet a moving vehicle without knowing. And they will say, oh, this person didn't commit suicide. But the person could have possibly planned it. This is the way I want to die. And it's, it's an accident. But it could have been planned to end it all in this way. So some of the cultural reasons, because of some of the importance placed on certain individuals in society.
Yeah.
Masculinity.
Yeah.
He's a male.
Yeah.
And so you try and then you don't succeed. The mockery, the stigmatization become too much in society. So the male goes in and want to end it all completely. No. Yes.
It's unfortunate that even at that point in our lives, yes, where we feel desperate, where we feel that there's no hope, we still have these thoughts of gender roles.
Exactly.
And, you know, it affects the way we even decide to take our lives.
Exactly.
I mean, I am getting to understand the reasons why we have to continue to talk about this thing that we call gender, this thing that we keep saying that we should let people live their lives.
Exactly.
Just I think a day or two ago, I was watching a video on Facebook, and it's a popular motivational speaker, and he was talking to a group of children who were going to write exam, and I think it was because of the BC that the video started circulating. And the question he asked, I'm bringing this up because you, Reverend and yourself spoke about failure, yes, as one of the reasons why people would decide. And he asked this question, that can you imagine asking a fish to climb a tree? And I started thinking about it. I'm like, no, that's impossible. A fish swims. If I ask a fish to swim, I bet you it will swim everywhere. But so his next question was, so if you are going to evaluate that fish based on its ability to climb that tree, then you make that fish believe that they are complete failure.
Exactly.
I mean, the point in here is that we all have our individual strengths. And the fact that you're not good at biology, the fact that you're not good at general science, let me come to BEC. The fact that you're not good at
English or
literature or something does not mean that you are a failure. I mean, that's the point. We all have our individual strengths. Yes, unfortunately, exam exists. And at some point, they have to evaluate us to see if we understand, if we can go and move, along that ladder. But, I mean, at the end of the day, that's not the essence of life. Yes, we continue to say that there are a lot of people we know who didn't even make it to school but then have made it in life. So the point is, at the end of the day, getting that support around the home. Parents, we need you to continuously tell your children. Those of you whose children are watching, are writing BECE, I mean, it's crucial for you to let them understand that BECE or not,
life will still go on.
Life goes on. You are my son, you are my daughter. I love you no matter what. I won't understand a parent who will evaluate their child's future capability or success based on BECE. Yes, it's important, but it is not that important. Reverend, Reverend, so I saw something on your screen earlier. That's why I asked that you hold on a little bit, because I wanted to usher in the conversation. So, I know, because sometime last week, the two of you told me that law in our Constitution that sees suicide as a crime is still there.
Yes.
Why is it still there, Doc? When you the experts understand all of these dynamics to suicide, that it's not easy for someone to just get up and say that they want to commit suicide. I want to know, what are you doing as an association? What are you doing as a body? You know, because it's still I cannot understand it unless we feel that unless we decriminalize it, we will not put in place these structures for people to easily access help. Reverend, why is it still there? What are you people doing about it?
Thank you very much once again. Before I get into that discussion, you see, it is good we let people know actually what the Constitution says, or the Criminal Offences Act says about suicide, which goes to the question why we shouldn't, or why we should expunge it or decriminalize it. You see, and it's on the screen, I see, if you read the 1992 Constitution, it's the Criminal Offences Act, that is 1960, Act 29, Section 57. It says abatement of suicide and attempted suicide. Now, whoever abates the commission of suicide by any person shall, whether or not the suicide is actually committed, be guilty of the first degree felony. Of course, we know first degree felony is sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. So, whoever attempts to commit suicide shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So we are trying to take you on that it's a misdemeanor, and of course the lawyers will explain what a misdemeanor is to us. But also we should know that suicide is oftentimes a sign of depression or some form of mental illness and a cry for help.
Yeah.
They have sent there is a petition that has been sent to the Parliament and the Attorney General to decriminalize attempted suicide in our country.
Excellent.
That is what the the Ghana Psychological Association, in fact, in collaboration with the Mental Health Authority. And I am glad to announce to your listeners and your audience this morning that as of today as we are speaking at 1 o'clock, Ghana Psychological Association and then the Mental Health Authority in Ghana are having a discussion on the issue of decriminalizing suicide from the Criminal Offences Act, especially from our Criminal Offences Act. So Ghana Psychological Association is actually working so hard, and we are actually working with one of our members who is a sociologist, Professor Joseph Osafo, the head of the University of Ghana Department of Psychology. Is actually working very hard on the issue of decriminalizing suicide in our country. And like I did say, it has been sent to Parliament, and the Parliament has accepted their view on it. I think the last time I checked, I think even Professor Honorable Idrisu has given his word or his support in this particular act, and another member in the majority side has also indicated their willingness to help in coming up with a framework so that the decriminalization of suicide from our constitution is done. So the Psychological Association is actually working hard, hand in hand, with stakeholders, with corporate entities, with bodies. There have been petitions which have been signed, over 1,000 people have signed onto the petition, which was sent to Parliament, and today there is going to be a discussion. And maybe Peter can send you the link. You can follow up. You can follow the discussion by Zoom to see the discussion, how it is going. And we know that in no time, but it's so far. You see, it's worries some of us, especially in the mental health sector, where when we listen to all the party political manifestos which have been launched, nobody is even talking about the fact that when they come to power or office, they will work to decriminalize suicide from our books when the next Parliament is in session. So I think it's all our work. All of us should come on board so that this issue of suicide, which is a crime, I remember in 2016, 2014, when one police reported suicide, and then the Northern Regional Police PIO was speaking, he did make it emphatically that suicide still remains a crime in our country. So if you attempt suicide and you are unable to complete it, in fact, you go to jail. So I think that if somebody is actually suffering from a mental disorder, and the person able to complete, so whether increase the person's depression and anxiety by arresting the person, putting the person before a court of competent education, and then sentencing the person to prison with a charge of misdemeanor. And in fact, it's not logical. So we are actually doing something about it. And I hope very soon, maybe next year, as the discussion is going, there will be a roadmap.
Next year, we hope it's done before election. We hope it gets done before December. I mean, always saying
before
that
December, I don't think it is. I don't think this before December is possible because Parliament is on recess now.
Oh, okay.
And even if we agree, it is only Parliament which will now do the final work. Only we will do the background work, but Parliament is the institution that is going to actually finalize the whole thing. So we believe and pray and we hope that come 2021, if God doesn't come and we are all alive, we need to see suicide expunged from our Criminal Offences Act in Ghana and from our Constitution.
We'll keep our fingers crossed, Reverend. Thank you so much. I mean, suicide, like we've been saying since morning, is a call for help.
Exactly.
I mean, when I pinch myself, I know the kind of pain I go through.
Exactly.
And
so can you imagine
somebody
who have decided to cut a part of their body?
A part of their body. I mean, it's a painful reality that a lot of people experience, and it will be a massive win for especially our mental health professionals if this is done to give people that hope that they can easily walk somewhere and then get this kind of support. I think we're trying to round up at this point. Yes, you are still watching. Schools are closed, but it is not a holiday, and we've been talking about suicide prevention. It's not easy. This discussion has been an eye-opener. I will be looking out for I'll be looking out for a lot of these things that I have been hearing this morning. Mr. Peter,
yes.
I want us to now center on my children.
Okay.
They are out of school.
Yes.
And a lot of indicators out there show that so a lot of student pupils used to see the school environment as that safe haven.
Yes.
They run to, because a lot of these abuses unfortunately happen in a home. The home, which is supposed to be that safest place for you, has somewhat become the most toxic places children find themselves. I mean, there are children out there today who may watch this at some point and may find themselves in similar situations. They may be with parents who keep beating them, and they're thinking, okay, since these people are not my parents, why would they be making me go through this? Yes. There may be a child out there who is being stabbed, unfortunately. There may be a child out there who is being sexually abused. What would be your last word? I don't want it to be short. Please forget Divine. I don't want it to be short, because this is a part that is very dear to us here.
Okay.
What would be your last words to a child like that, a child experiencing something like this?
Yes. So children that are out there that are going through some emotional challenges, some emotional trauma, some abuse issues, some denial of certain privileges, and they have been contemplating, planning, they shouldn't get to the third point of saying attempted. But what is needed is that we will need to get these children from very strong social support. The school is a place. Home is another place. Unfortunately, some of our homes are really not helpful. And the religious institutions are places where we should be seeking support from. So as the youth, let's seek for support. And as parents, what we need to do very much, let's understand the problem of our children, the problem of the youth of society. Let's not just say, oh, but you're a child, I'm providing this. There could be a particular need. Listen to them. Let's understand them. And let's respect the privacy of the child. In as much as we're saying the children should form very good network where they can learn socially acceptable norms, socially respectable norms, we also want the children to also form and build their own capacity and develop their personal skills. Sometimes lack of certain skills lead people to end up this way. Yeah. Somebody is there and then he's not sure of what his capabilities are. So when the mockery then comes in, the stigma, or when people then begin point, oh, this person, he doesn't know anything. And it may look very simple, but somebody take it very hard. So let's develop our skills as the young ones. Let's read. This is the time. Because whatever that we want to become, the medical doctor you want to be, the psychologist you want to be, the social worker you want to be one day, need to start today. You can't be that social worker in 10, 20 years to come if you don't start preparing today. So for whatever that we want to be, I am still talking to the youth now. Let's begin to prepare ourselves. And preparing ourselves means we need to read good books.
Yes.
We need to listen and listen well.
Yeah.
We need to watch positive messages or positive motivational issues. We need to depend on God. God is good.
Yeah.
God can do a whole lot. And if God serves as a buffer in terms of challenges. So if we can count on God, we can be sure things will work out for us. And so I give up. The future is bright.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the few ones that are taking up their life, we need to support them. Their attempt is a cry for help.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't just point it that this is a bad boy, this is a bad girl, let's deal with him. But if you come to, let me add a bit to what the Reverend said.
Mr. Peter, can
Yes.
I come in a second?
Okay.
It seems Reverend has to leave.
Yes.
So, Reverend, please, are you with me? Hello, Reverend.
Yes, I am with you.
Oh, okay. So you are.
I can hear you.
Okay, okay. I thought you had a meeting, or you are okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay,
It's okay.
okay,
We are in both.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So, Mr. Peter. Please.
So in that order, we surely need to. Each person has a role to play when it comes to suicide, and that's the individual part. Then the communal or the relationship component is very important.
Exactly.
Then the community and the society in which we live,
Yes.
and then other institutions.
Yes.
Savannah Signatures is doing it. Tolek is doing it. Edicam is doing something.
Yeah.
And all of us have to contribute so that we can be able to save our youth
Yeah.
from this harmful side. But I was just coming to the issue of suicide and why it looks more criminal in our books. If you look at it, our colonial masters, they wanted slaves to work. And so for you to get up and say, I will not work, I want to kill myself, it's a reason why it got into our books. So if as a slave you decide to kill, so you don't want to work for the master, you want to die. Once you fail, you were given, and a prison was seen as punishment.
Yeah.
And even today it's still seen as punishment. Matter of fact, our prisons should be seen as correctional homes.
Yeah.
But if you now look at it as punishment, you are now going to imprison this person and it looks like punishment. And since that has been the challenge, that's why we are not able to get it out. But today we are free.
People come out of prison
Yes.
and they are worse than they went in.
Exactly.
Because the correction part of
It's not there.
Is not there.
And so if we intend to correct the people, we should be looking at what is it that this person, and the mental health component is where a lot of people are getting into. Substance abuse, trauma, PTSD, and COVID-19. COVID-19 is with us, and the impact it is leaving because people are losing their jobs, losing their marriages, livelihood is gone.
Yeah.
And so, imagine somebody is going through this trauma,
Affected, yeah.
and he's contemplating, and you go to prison again, you will finish up the person. So what you need now, let's help the people get psychosocial support. And what you are doing is beautiful. And we from Tolek are glad to partner with you so that individuals who go through these challenges, these abuse issues, we are able to offer psychosocial support.
There is help.
Yes.
That's
So
what-
there is help available.
There is help.
Unfortunately, the challenge when it comes to the northern part is that the psychologists are not many.
Yeah.
As we speak, I'm not sure northern region has more than 5 practicing psychologists. I say practicing because there could be people with psychology, but they are not
But
practicing.
yeah.
And that is why we at Tolek thought that there was a need to establish an institution to be able to partner what government is doing. And we receive individuals who have emotional issues, who are battling substance abuse, and we are helping them to correct whatever challenges they have met in life. And so we are glad, and I'm sure
Thank
Tolek
you
and
so
Savannah
much,
Signatures
Tolek. Yeah,
will go
thank
a long
you,
way.
Thank you. We are so grateful. So, Reverend, just like the preamble, so for children out there who are suffering, who are in situations and are suffering, situations that they feel they are hopeless against, they cannot overcome, and may be having suicidal thoughts. Reverend, a quick word to those children, especially the children for me.
I think Peter has said it all. You are not alone. Young children are watching, who are listening. You are not alone in whatever situation you are going through. You may be going through the worst kind of situation, but you know that suicide is not an option.
No.
Your life is worth more important than any other thing.
Yeah.
So no matter the situation you're going through, no matter the circumstance you find yourself, no matter where you find yourself, do know that your life is more important to God. Allah, the man, the one who created you, knows why he created you. You may be thinking that your situation is worse off, but know that somebody wished to be like you or to be you. So never see yourself to be someone whose situation is too bad that nothing can be done about it.
Yeah.
All you need to do is that be positive.
Yeah.
Stay calm. Talk to somebody who you trust can help you. And when these people talk to us, when these young children talk to us, they talk to us because they trust we can offer them some support. And like Peter did mention, suicide prevention is what? Individual, relationship, community, and then society. So let us promote prevention, let us encourage self-seeking help, let us inspire social change. And then we must learn the 5 steps to complete suicide. That is, learn the signs of suicide, do your part on preventing suicide. Practice self-care. So if you are going through any challenge, if you are going through stress, anxiety, there are so many self-care that you can do. Just practice some deep breathing. Just do some exercise. Just do some relaxation. And once you do that, you are able to handle the situation. And now, as you are doing all that, reach out. And then when you reach out, all of us who are doing this, who are partnering in preventing suicide, let us spread the word. Just as we are doing, let us spread the word. Knowledge is power. Let us seek knowledge of suicide. Once we seek the knowledge, then we recognize it, then we share.
Hello, Reverend. Hello. Okay, I think somehow we lost Reverend there, but I think the essence of what he wanted to communicate has been communicated. Okay, Reverend. Hello. Amadou for coming in. Thank you so much, Reverend Aaron Kubaga. We appreciate your time. You've been in here with us since last week. We appreciate it. Please, if you need help, if you are out there and you need help, we've been talking about support. We are a community. That is why we are a community. No one person is an island.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, at some point in your life, you will need another person. You will need to just whisper a word into someone's ear. Please, call us. So, if you call us and you need the psychosocial support that we've been talking about here this morning, please, we will link you to either Mr. Amadou here or Reverend. Exactly. We also have a health worker in place 24/7 to take care of all your health needs. Please call the Agoshi platform on 5100. That's a toll-free number. 5100. You can as well call 0544 711 799. 0544 711 799. and then 050-2863-699. 050-2863-699. Suicide is not an option. Suicide is not an option. We are here for you. If you need to talk to someone, please call us. You can as well flash the 0544-711-799. You can even send a message. We will call you. Please. I just want to leave you with a couple of words. I found these somewhere and they really spoke to the subject matter this morning. And here it goes. It says that you just want the pain to go away. You do not want to die. Yes, we all feel this way sometimes. No, you aren't alone. You are not alone. No, you won't always feel like this. And that part is very important to me. No, you won't always feel like this. And of course, yes, the world is a better place with you inside it. We love you. Call us. We will find help for you. Thank you so much for watching us once again. Schools are closed, but it's not a holiday. We will see you in a couple of weeks or next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're done.